Hello and welcome to another episode of Expert Commander. I'm your host, Christopher Rummel.
And I am the man Sat. But I don't know, right? If you're I'm not the guest.
No, because we don't have any other guests.
No, we don't. No. I mean, I suppose to put it in perspective, it's like, when you watch, I don't know, is it like The Late Show or something, where you've got the host and then the guy in the background is like, oh, I'm the joke man. That's me. That's what I am. And my name is Nick Gonzo.
I always think that the joke man's job is kind of like the fluffer, because when the host is doing the monologue, if there's a joke which doesn't quite bang, it's the piano guy's job to go
exactly.
Ridiculously fake laugh and just be like, all right, come on, everyone laugh, please.
Yeah.
We had to write this entire show in 20 minutes.
Yes, because a friend of mine, Greg, he's part of the MASH Report.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is a television program on the BBC, and that's made in a few days. So I think it goes out on a Wednesday. I think this is the thing, is that obviously I've watched every episode because Friends in it, but have I watched them the day they come out? No. Do I know what day it comes out? No. Modern television, eh? Just I just wait until it turns up on the computer and then I absorb it. But yeah, so it's like he turns up to London one day, it gets written another day, then they film it and it's on TV, and it's do that every week.
It's got to be hard for topical shows the whatever Stephen Colbert's show is now, and all these other late night topical comedians. And
I think it's called Holy Shit, I'm called Stephen Colbert.
I've never actually seen a whole episode of his show. I occasionally catch bits on YouTube, but I don't actually know what his whole show is. I assume he has.
Well,
guests.
it used to be the Colbert Report.
Yeah, but that was when he was doing the character of the right wing. He was doing a satire of the Fox News kind of.
Yes,
aesthetic.
yes, he was. My favorite parts of that was when he got Bill O'Reilly on, an actual right wing idiot.
Yeah, definitely.
And then because he I don't know why he used to call him, instead of calling him Stephen Colbert, like sort of Stephen Colbert or something, pretend that he had a sort of middle class background as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's all very, very odd. But it's Stephen Colbert. The Colbert Report used to be sort of topical bit to the camera, get on a guest to talk about it. It's sort of like News Night, but only where people don't hate each other.
Yeah, that's a fairly that's a decent enough analogy for it.
English topical comedy is mostly so toothless. I mean, the
most of English comedy generally is toothless, I find.
I'll give you that one. But if you look at Mock the Week and Have I Got News for You, and Have I Got News for You has worn itself a very comfortable groove doing the same thing every week. Right? I mean, it's like getting lost in time.
It really is.
You turn it on, and the only sort of marker of time is that Angus Deaton is still fired. So, we're making real topical references to the time that do you remember the time that doing cocaine off a prostitute on camera would get you fired from a job rather than make you president?
Allegedly. See, if this was Have I Got News for You, me saying allegedly would classify as a joke.
Yeah, and then everyone would go, "Whoa, he's yeah."
Like, edgy humour.
Then you got Mock the Week, where well, exactly,
I'm going to leave that silence in.
Just the sound of my dog barking off in the distance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Possibly not so much with Mock the Week, because I'm genuinely surprised that it's still on. But
I'm always like, is this Dave? No, this is the BBC.
I don't know. It's probably gone to the graveyard that is Dave, the Dave yard, so to speak.
That was a good one, Chris.
That's
the man of the
again,
that's a good joke.
That's solid. Stop being my hype man. But whenever I see Have I Got News for You, it's honestly like it's honestly like I'm looking at something that came from a different planet, and like I just don't understand.
Do you know when you have like I don't know if you've ever had this position, but I know where you've got like where you had a pet dog or cat that was the beloved family pet, and then you go off to university, and then you come back and it's old. And it's got one tooth, and it just won't stop shitting where it's not supposed to, and you're just watching it going, oh no, I now understand mortality enough to know that this thing's going out of here. That's Have I Got News For You. But
incidentally, that's how Phil Jupiter looks these days. He looks like he kind of wants to be put to sleep.
That's not How I Got News For You. That's the other one. That's never mind, the Buzzcocks, which has been. I don't even think it's on TV anymore.
Oh well, fuck me for trying.
Yeah, no, we can cut that out. We did not cut it out.
Okay.
But have you watched the Eric Andre show?
I have, and I just think it's so wonderful how everything about it is set up as if it was going to be like this Have I Got News For You kind of sitcom, or not sitcom rather, but like a panel show, and just everything about it goes in exactly the opposite direction.
Yeah,
I mean, it's wonderful.
Because we were talking about it at work the other day, but just so people don't know, that it is kind of like the Colbert Report and the Late Show and stuff. You've got Eric Andre, you have his hype man played by Hannibal Buress.
Sure.
It's very, very funny in that it's one of those programs. It's kind of like Space Ghost Coast to Coast, but live action.
Yeah, that's a good analogy for it, actually. Yeah.
In as much as you have guests. The guests some of them kind of get what's going on, others clearly get what's going on, and others have no idea whatsoever. I remembered the episode where Flavor Flav turns up.
Yeah.
So in the episode, Flavor Flav turns up to be interviewed, quote unquote, like sort of pretend interview. I think Flavor Flav knows it's not a real program, but he just sort of. The first thing that Eric Andre does is ask him a question about a Chuck D lyric where he's like he just sort of mentions like Chuck D says this guy did this thing, but isn't he a violent homophobe who was involved inside the assassination of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X? And he's like, what? And then I think that like Flavor Flav thought the bit was going to be that the guy comes to look at his mic and is trying to touch his penis. So that's what Flavor Flav thinks is happening. But then Eric Andre just gets into a bath, literally strips. Because Flavor Flav sort of starts pretending that he's going to start a fight. Eric Andre smashes his desk apart, at which point there is a full bathtub underneath it. He then strips completely naked, and you can see the visible surprise on Flavor Flav's face. He's like, nobody told me this nan would get naked. He literally just shouts, "This motherfucker ain't joking!" And then just Hannibal Buress kicks Flavor Flav in the face. And you're like, what has just happened? Obviously, it does that wonderful joke as well, which always happens in the Eric Andre show, where it all goes terribly wrong, and it just freeze frames. It goes, "We'll be right back."
Yeah.
And it's just incredibly strange television. I would really recommend it. It sort of comes from the school of thought of Harvey Birdman, where you just sort of don't have any clue what's going to happen. Yeah,
I was just thinking of Harvey Birdman, which incidentally is some of my favourite work by Stephen Colbert. And I have to wonder...
Who's stronger, Birdman? You or the addiction? Just him with 50 cigarettes. I'm not even explaining the context. Like, there are people listening who are like, what's Harvey Birdman? Harvey Birdman. Harvey Birdman. Harvey Birdman. Harvey Birdman.
And something about both the Eric Andre show and Harvey Birdman is something very kind of Dadaist about it.
Yes.
It's like it kind of takes these tropes of sitcoms and talk shows respectively and just kind of puts them in a blender and says okay, and then just like sneezes them onto the screen and says like okay, just make sense of this whatever. Oh wait, no, don't make sense of it because making sense of things is bullshit and everything is meaningless.
The anti-joke, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Both of them are very much into anti-jokes. Although in fairness, there's you talked about the Flavor Flav interview on the Eric Andre show. One of my favorite ones. I can't remember who it was, but they got somebody in who like used to be in the Spice Girls. And if anybody doesn't know, like the Spice Girls thing was like their catchphrase was "girl power."
I like the fact that we
90s.
explained the Spice Girls, okay, but we didn't explain like most of the things we just talked about.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know what our audience is. So they have somebody from the Spice Girls on, and Eric Andre says, "Do you think Margaret Thatcher had girl power?" And this person for the Spice Girls says, "Oh, absolutely, absolutely." And clearly used to doing interviews the whole time, which has to be like not political, and says like, "Oh yeah, no, I think it's all wonderful." And Eric Andre just like rounds on her and says, "Do you think Margaret Thatcher utilised girl power effectively in organising illegal paramilitary death squads in the Northern Ireland?" And it just hard cuts to "We'll be right back."
Basically what I see is myself as I like the fact we've just spun about a podcast world probably about 10 minutes after me going, where's my role in this podcast? So
speaking of
yes.
like you open this by talking about how a lot of topical comedy and I suppose sitcom comedy in general is pretty toothless. You had a very sitcom-esque experience this week, Nick. Could you tell me about that?
Christ. Oh, yeah. So, we've done so many wonderful things since we recorded this podcast. It's been slightly over a year since me and you sat down and drank Drink to Forget alcohol.
Yes, we did. Verschessen heißt Drunk.
Is that...
Check out... Yeah, I remember it.
That's amazing. I can't remember that night.
Yeah, we recorded it at 2 p.m.
So yeah, we've done many great, and then I haven't drank for over 300 days. But then we've done so many things, and one of those things is I have actually learnt to drive and have a car, and I fucking regret every second of it. Because, whilst it has opened up my life and my social life, my physical life, I'm no longer a prisoner by the horrors of public transport. 'Cause I can be part of that traffic jam. I can be part of the jam rather than witness to it.
I can be part of the problem.
I can be part of the problem. I'm actively damaging the environment now, rather than just passively enjoying the smoke. But yeah,
taking your baby's first steps into your first landfill is what
it's just increasing that carbon footprint to 85 times that size. But cars, they're expensive, man.
Yes, they are.
So like the other day I was driving along and a pebble, like a huge pebble, took out my windscreen.
Oh god!
It collided with it and just took a hand, like a fist-sized lump out of it.
Which sometimes life will just shit on you.
Which subsequently I had repaired. I had somebody come around and they were like, "Whoa, that's a big hole." And I was like, "Yep." And they were like, "Well, we better fill that in, otherwise you're gonna get flies in your teeth when you drive." So they did it, and then I was like, "Oh, that's not so bad. Maybe I should address some of the other problems with the car, because I have a bit of a rusty patch where I hit a bollard, and I have a." So yeah, basically what I'm saying is, don't sell me a car. Like if you care about your car, I am not going to be the one to. I hope my insurer's not listening to this because I ain't told them any of this shit. Yeah.
This gets brought up on your next insurance renewal form. It's like. Extenuating circumstances.
You said no. I have made my insurer aware of the windscreen. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been prepared for a tenner. Put it that way. But yeah. So one of the problems with my car at the moment is it's making a squeaking noise whenever it's cold or whenever it's wet or whenever it feels like it. It just makes a squeaking noise, and it is harrowing. It's like a baby being stabbed by a pitchfork. It is wrong. All right. And I'm not mechanically minded, but shit shouldn't make that noise.
No, that's we're sort of evolutionarily programmed to not like loud, squeaky noises.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought to myself, I'll get it fixed. I have warranties and stuff, so they were always good. So I took it back to the guys who actually sold it to me, thinking that they were gonna repair it.
Sure.
Right. I took it back to them, and they gave me a call this morning, and they were like, "Yeah, so there is no noise. not we couldn't find anything. It's like we did the investigation, and there is no noise. All right. Okay. Well, yeah, there is one. Like, well, we didn't find one, so there's no problem with your car. There is no noise." And I spoke to 3 different people because I was like, I refuse to believe that you're ignoring me when I'm the one paying you. So I would like to speak to someone else, please. I spoke to several people about it, and every single one of them told me that there was no noise. So
so they all took the party line on this.
They all took
the line
without fail. Like, because usually sometimes if you speak to enough people, somebody will go, "I can see your point, but no." They were every single person at the Car People Wakefield. Every single one of them was like, "No, there's no noise. Well, we've done the investigation. There's no noise." One guy literally said to me, he went, "What is it you're failing to comprehend?" And I was like, well, what I'm failing to comprehend is how a group of people can have, like, be told by a customer something's wrong with something. They do a 15-minute investigation and go, "Nope, that doesn't exist." The example I used was, if a guy goes to a doctor's, sits down and goes, "My chest hurts when I do, sometimes my chest hurts." The doctor sort of like checks him out and goes, "Well, there's no pain now, is there?" He goes, "No." He goes, "You're fine." That's how it's the same thing,
Yeah, I mean, it's the idea that well, it doesn't exist for me, therefore get out of my office.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like if it's not happening right now, it's never happened before. So when I went to pick the car,
that's why I call the Fleetwood Mac version of diagnosis. Like, well, if it's not squeaking now, it will never squeak again.
Yeah. Oh my Christ! Oh, what we was. Hysterics. Yeah, that was far funnier than it should have been.
Thank you.
You're very fucking welcome. That was good. Right. So, I have just excuse me while I contain myself. Yeah. So I got them to write. This is how awful I am as a human, right? As a customer, I got them to write because they basically they wrote down they wrote down have investigated, no issue. And I said no, that's not good. That's not good enough for me. Not really. What I want from you is I would like a piece of paper that literally states the following words: "We have investigated and there is no noise." That's what I want from you. And it took a while. The lady had to go and find somebody who could do it, but they found somebody who could do it, and they got me a piece of paper that says we investigated and there is no noise. All right. They tell me that the car is in the car park. I go to the car park. I can't find my car. Right? I'm like, oh Christ, someone's stolen it, which would cure a lot of my problems, to be fair. Except for the fact that I wouldn't get that mixtape of Mexican rap music I made back. But yeah, so they were like, oh no, actually the car isn't in the car park. The car is still in the thing. Let me go and retrieve your car from the workshop for you. So, dude, who was incredibly friendly, he went off and he went to the workshop to go get my car. The next thing I hear is an unholy squeaking sound. Like a riotous, raucous, animalistic clugging along as he drives my car to me. Right? Right, so he then parks up. And he parks up and then just turns... he like sort of gives me the keys and goes, "Well, that's loud." I'm like, that's the exact fucking reason I brought it here, is because it's killing me. It's killing me inside and out. So I actually got him to go into the thing, into the dealership, and report that he had heard the noise and the noise existed. And my search continues to find somebody who can actually, end my pain. But like, I was in the car park. And I remember thinking, wouldn't it be funny if he came out and he was just making a noise? And guess what? It was. It was fucking hilarious.
I hate that life imitates art, but I also hate that the art that it imitates is a bad episode of Friends.
Yeah, like that is Mrs. Brown's Boys level comedy. We just
it really is.
We were talking about how great Eric Andre and stuff is. That joke would never turn up on it.
Oh God, no!
Unless
that's
it happened to Ronald McDonald crying and vomiting in a thing, right? If you know it wasn't the way that things should work, but it was funny. It was funny.
No, and I mean that's like kind of on the same level as joke from the Big Bang Theory or something. And
exactly. Yeah. So the question I have to ask you is, when has your life resembled, like when have you gone, if something has happened to you, right, and then you've just sort of thought to yourself, wow, if I wrote this down, I would not win that BAFTA.
Oh, that's such a good way of thinking about it. If I wrote this down, this would one. It's not even that nobody would believe me. It's like
it would get a low rating on the AV Club.
This is going to get like a lukewarm.
It will not be rated fresh.
I think probably the only ones the only thing that I can really think of is my many and varied experiences with conspiracy theorists in pubs, because this happened to me quite recently, and this seems to, I say it happens to me quite recently. This happens to me quite a lot, I should say, because I often like to go and have a pint and just read or work in my journals or just listen to music or do whatever. Like I like the experience of being in a room full of people but also not having to talk to anybody.
Yes, yeah. See, this is your first problem. Is you go to pubs by yourself. Like nobody talks. If I go to a Wetherspoons with Camilla, nobody ever talks to us because the first thing they do is look at us and go, that guy's significant other is brown. Better not try and discuss the Brexit with them. But yeah, please continue with your fucking.
But the upshot of this is that I often get like adopted by extroverts, and sometimes this is really nice, and you somebody invites you over to their table, or someone comes to sit with you, and it's like, oh, we're having a nice time. Like the sitcom element comes in where somebody comes over and sits opposite you and they start talking to you, and then it very slowly becomes apparent that they're a crazy person. And I don't recall exactly how we got onto this. I think I just mentioned like the moon landing as like as like an example, and the guy, like, we're just having a laugh or whatever, and all the joy immediately went out of his face. And he fixes me with this look, and he was just like, "You don't believe that, do you?" And
did his voice change?
No, honestly, it really did. And I was like, "What? Like, did that comparison not work? Do you not think that's appropriate?" And he goes, "No. You don't really believe in the moon landing, do you?"
How old is this man?
He was in his early 40s, I want to say.
So my mum was 50 My mum is 50 and she was like, she witnessed the moon landing. So this guy didn't, I imagine, witness.
Yeah. But even if it, I mean, I don't know, my late granddad obviously was old enough for the moon landings, and he maintained for as long as I knew him that we didn't land on the moon. But yeah, it was just one of those moments where I sort of looked off to one side, and I just felt like I was looking into the camera, like I was on The Office.
Oh, joy! Yeah, that's the sort of thing that happens in Parks and Rec, where it's like they meet somebody and they're really nice. And it's like, oh, by the way, I'm a Nazi. And, it's like, oh, I hear you're a moon landing denier, father.
Yeah, I always like what's always fun is to like, whenever somebody pitches a conspiracy theory to you, just like completely patronize them and undercut them completely. So you're just like, so for example, in that situation, the guy goes, what, you don't really believe in the moon landing? Like, you want to just lean back in your chair and go, look at this loser, still believes in the moon.
Yeah, that was right. I like the way that you were going with that, because you were like, where you go, someone goes, do you like the, do you believe the moon landing? You go, no. Of course, it's clear the Russians faked everything. I mean, they're still faking it now. I mean, like, none of this is real. None of it. And then just start vomiting into your hands. Just like. I mean, watch. Yes. So,
Smash cut to "We'll be right back."
yes. Oh God! It's coming that. Do you remember? Right, because we are both of a generation where we were some of the first people on the internet, Chris.
I don't know so much about that, but maybe the first to get it.
No, shut up. We were some of the first people on the internet. At least right. You're fucking wrong. Now let me tell you why. No, right. So let me sort of rephrase that. We were on the internet when it was still good. Right.
All right, Grandad.
Yeah. But what? Okay. Let me characterize that a bit further. We were on forums when trolling meant that somebody would say something stupid, and you would then push them further into the stupidity.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. That's what trolling was. I remember doing it hundreds of times. Like you get somebody to they'd say something that's like slightly racist, then you get them to admit that black people didn't exist or something. Right? You would basically push somebody beyond what they said. So like somebody were like, oh well, I think that healthcare should we should treat healthcare as like socialism. Then you get them to convince them that basically to admit that sticking plasters cause communism. Or something.
Yeah.
That is how it works.
Oh sure, because it's the reductio ad absurdum, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean now what trolling means is they say something racist without you prompting, and then get somebody to come to your, then get the SWAT team to come to your house and shoot your dog, or worse, shoot you. But
epic troll, bro.
Epic troll, bro. Lols. Somebody's dead. But what was my point? Some guy says he doesn't believe the moon landings. You should classic troll him and just get him to push you even further. And because what really concerns me is people who don't believe in the moon landings. What other scientific beliefs do they not believe in?
Yeah, I mean, well, there was a bit on. I think it was a bit on like Dan Harmon's podcast or something, where he said like he met a flat earther, but a flat earther who really believed in climate change. And was like, no, like we really have to stop climate change because it's going to be really bad for the flat Earth. And it's like you've got the right idea, but you've kind of come to it from completely the wrong angle.
It's right though. I mean, like if you had a flat Earth, and the entire planet is a flat disk surrounded by ice caps from all sides to try and hide you from the endless abyss out there.
But then everything's going to leak out if they
if everything... Well, no, because, I mean, the ice forms a basin, Chris. The ice forms a basin that will just fill up full of frosted water, and then we're dead. We are going to be the cereal in the bowl of existence if we don't cure this and cure the flat Earth. But no, this flat Earth man has no point. He's an idiot. But what I mean to say is, like, there's a lady I used to work with back when I used to work in that strange call center, and she did not believe the moon landings happened. She was even though that she was like the same age as my mother, so she obviously saw the moon landings and then went. Looked at it and went, nah, it's too much. Okay.
Yeah.
So I once had a conversation where I was like, so what do you believe in? Do you believe that there are satellites in orbit? He's like, well, yeah. I was like, okay, that's cool, right? We have a baseline. Okay?
We can build from that now.
Yeah, we can build from that now. So do you believe that, you've seen the movie Apollo 13, because everyone has. Everyone loves Tom Hanks and Kevin Bacon in one movie? With Gary Sinise? Come on. Right? Did that happen? Did somebody circle the moon? Did we just not land? It's like, have we been back? Because like more than one person went to the moon before, and she's like, well, we've never been to the moon at all. I was like, okay, that's fine. To have the Chinese landed objects on the moon, because they've done that in real life. And I pushed her because it's like, when do you draw the line? Did cloning happen? Was Dolly the sheep fake? I want to know more. That's the first thing that that's what I think about when it comes down to it. Is like, what do you and what do you not believe in?
Yeah, I mean, because conspiracy theories sort of serve two purposes. One, they make sense of a chaotic world, and two, they make you feel like you're the smartest person in the room. Yeah. And both of those are very, very seductive things for an idea or a thought to do.
Well, so it's incredibly easy to go, well, you're wrong, and here's why.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
For no apparent reason.
Yeah, completely. And almost like the fact that nobody else believes them, or the fact that you are in a minority for believing that, sort of validates you even further, because you say, well, nobody else believes this, but I'm the only one who's turned on to this. I'm the only one who knows the truth. And of course you can get into things like, well, obviously if you really were the only one who knew the truth, you wouldn't be working in a call center alongside my friend Nick Gonzo.
Well, I genuinely don't believe that governments have the capacity to keep secrets. I mean, there was a period in our history, in British history, when like every fucking week an MP would leave a memory stick or a laptop or a mobile phone on a bus or a train or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like if the FBI had assassinated JFK, then they would have accidentally left the rifle in just out and about somewhere, like, or somebody would get drunk and then tell a prostitute that they did it in order to try and get a discount or something. It would be like, he's like, $25 for a blowjob? I shot Kennedy. That's it happens. Right?
I really hoped you wouldn't double down on that one, but no.
She's like, well, actually 50, because I don't celebrate the death of fucking freedom. But yeah,
it's 50 for you because I voted for him.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I'm old.